the greatest fulfillment that anyone can get in their lives is that they're confident they're doing the right thing. And for me, being a pastor, I know I'm fulfilling God's call on my life. You know, I've often said that everybody needs a Paul, everybody needs a Timothy, and everybody needs a Barnabas. And you have a Paul to invest in you. You have a Timothy, that's someone that you invest in. And then of course we all need Barnabas, the son of encouragement. And I think if you keep those balanced in your life, especially as a pastor, you're gonna have a life that's fulfilling. I think as you fulfill the call of God on your life, you have to be extremely careful. I think Jesus set the precedent. Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. I have to remove myself to a quiet place and myself be refreshed, because I'm called to refresh others. And so if I'm not refreshed, guess what? I'm not going to be releasing refreshing, I'm going to be releasing my stress on other people. You know, the Fuller Institute tells us that 1,500 ministers are leaving the ministry in our country every day. That's too much.
My question is, how many more ministers are out there right now who are battling different things in their lives, overwhelmed with different situations? I mean, we can name a host of things. How many are dealing with low self-esteem? How many are dealing with pornography? How many are dealing with a lot of issues, whether it's men or whether it's women? How many are dealing with issues, but we're so busy ministering to others, we can't cry out to someone, a trusted individual, a trusted mentor, a trusted pastor or friend, where we can't cry out and say, I'm in trouble and I need help. So Barnabas21 to me is a ministry whose time has come, and it should have come a long time ago.
I know the value of getting away, and for me, most of the time, it's better, I can see the picture better if I'm out of it. And so I have different avenues, different places to go. I like the outdoors, and I get away. It gives me time to spend quality time with the Master. It gives me time to spend quality time with my wife and with my family and with my friends, and be able to set aside the buildup of stress and the issues of ministry.
One day we were driving home from work, and you know how it is. You know, sometimes you actually get frustrated with your spouse when they talk about the same thing over and over and over again. And I just said, you know, when are you going to do something about this? You know, when are you going to actually make a step to do something about this, Barnabas21? And he said, you know, you're right. And he said, I am. It's time.
So I took 2 days, and I called my office and I said, you know, I'm going to be working Thursday and Friday from home. And I spent time in my house just seeking God and saying, Lord, I've got to have an answer. And you know, my heart is to invest in leaders, and out of that came Barnabas21. We've been investing in pastors and missionaries and ministers, giving them opportunities to take retreat time, vacation time, sabbatical time. And an elderly couple owned the property beside us. The house had been sitting there on the market since 2006 with no buyer. And finally I spoke to the owner of the home, and I told him of my interest. I said, you know, I'd like to have that home for ministry purposes. And we sat down at the table. I shared my heart for the Barnabas house, a place where we would have 365 days a year to use to invest into the lives of ministers. We spent a good solid year building a partnership base, and people are part of what's called the Friends of Barnabas, and they support us on varied levels. And so we have, you know, we have income to sustain taking care of the Barnabas house. Plus we'll use a host of volunteers, have people already, even though, you know, the Barnabas house is not officially open. We've already had people to say, listen, Pastor, I'd love to do this for you. And so I can see the gathering of people throughout the kingdom with varied giftings and abilities. I can see them bringing those things to the table, making Barnabas House effective.
So I'd like for it to be a place of refuge, a place where they could go and be themselves. Throw on a pair of sweatpants, pull your hair in a ponytail, and just flop. You don't have to be concerned about what you're going to look like and who you're going to see, and just invest in their children and one another.
And if you can take an opportunity to invest in your pastor by sending him or her to a place like the Barnabas house, I think you'll see the fruit on a regular basis, because you'll see a man who's not weary. You'll see a man and his wife who's excited about being where God's called them to serve.
My prayer is that people would get behind it with prayer. My prayer is also people will get behind it with their finances, because this is a good thing. It's a good ground to sow and to invest your seed and your money into, because you're investing lives and you're continuing to build the kingdom of God. And in times like these, we need men and women who are on the forefront. Everybody's not going to preach the gospel. Everybody's not going to sing. But there are those who are the priests, and then there are those who are the kings. The priests are the ones who may have to go out and preach it, and the kings are the ones who has to, go out there and work and gather the money to help support the gospel.
Your investment into Barnabas21, and specifically the Barnabas house, is an opportunity for you to do just that, to strengthen your pastor, your Christian leader, so that they in turn can strengthen you and others just like you.